Live. What's going on, gentlemen or ladies? If there's any ladies out there, how you guys doing, man? Just a quick live stream. I thought I'd fire one up. I really wanted to do at least one this week, maybe two. So here's the first one, maybe the only one of the week. We'll see how it goes on. But yeah, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. No real topic in this live stream. We'll talk about whatever. I'll just really answer the questions in the chat and we'll go from there. We'll go from there. Really not much more to it than that. You know, we have got Theolemus Lofi in the chat. Shout out. What's going on, man? How you doing? Yes, evening over here, man. Evening. But yeah, hopefully you're doing well. That's the main thing. Hopefully you're in good health. And yeah, man, enjoy your day. Hopefully your day goes well. Hopefully your day goes well. That's the main thing, man. But yeah, welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard. AKS99, who are you picking in Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz? I've got to be honest, I've not made my pick quite yet. I still need I need a bit of time to think on it, but I'm leaning towards a certain direction, but I'm not going to reveal that just yet. I will do my prediction, I would say, in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, look out for that. I'll make a video on it. Lewis Hurley in the chat. Shout out to Lewis Hurley, a long-time supporter. Shout out to you, sir. The Quags as well. The Quags is here. Shout out to the Quags, another guy who's been here a long, long time. 47. What's up, Dell? I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty good. A bit stressed, a bit fucking worn out, but I'm okay. I'm okay, man. I'm okay. How you doing? How are you doing? Just chilling, man. You know, it's 8:10 in the UK. Cold night. You know, winter's here. Felt like, you know, just doing a live stream, to be honest. Thought I'd fire one up. Why not, right? Why not? I think I might do another one late night Friday, potentially. We'll see. We'll see. There's not too much boxing on this weekend. I believe Ukashir Farouk versus Lee McGregor's on this weekend, though. That's a really good domestic fight. But apart from that, there's not too much boxing on this week. But, you know, we may do a live stream for that fight. We don't know yet. Maybe. Maybe. But anyway, man, hopefully you guys are doing well. You know, that's the main thing. I've had a few beers, so I'm a bit mellow, you know, a bit chilled out, but, you know, we're okay. Oh, hang on 1 second, lads. We've got a million tabs open. Get rid of those. There we go. Sorted. Here's a tough question. Ortiz or Wilder? I actually made a prediction for that fight. I am picking Wilder. I've made a video on it. Yeah, I expect Wilder to win by knockout, and I think Wilder will do it a bit quicker this time around. Maybe 5 or 6 rounds. Maybe 5 or 6 rounds. I don't think Luis Ortiz has got any better from the first fight, and Deontay Wilder certainly hasn't got any worse. So I expect Wilder to do the job, and I believe he'll do it in a bit quicker fashion this time around, to be honest. The Shepherd of Sons in the chat. Why do you dislike your parents' cat? Every single time it's round here, man, honestly, it bugs the hell out of me. Every single time it tries to sit on me, asks for food every fucking 5 minutes. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Cats are not for me, man. I'm not a pet person anyway, but to be honest with you, I prefer dogs, I guess, but I'm not a pet person. 47's good. That is the main thing. Has Ultratech's Twitter been suspended? We all yeah. Yeah, I know. I don't think he's been suspended. I think his account did get suspended, Ultratech. I think he's got another account now. I got blocked by his first account for some reason, but yeah, I know he's got a second account now. So there we go. Who would you pick in Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia? That is AKS99. I think I would go with Devin Haney. I know Devin Haney didn't look too good this weekend, But, you know, Ryan Garcia's had those moments as well. And for me, Devin Haney just has a bit more in the arsenal in comparison to Ryan Garcia. I believe Devin Haney is a bit more well-rounded than Ryan Garcia. I feel like I said Danny Garcia in that comment, but yeah, I would pick Devin Haney to beat Ryan Garcia. Lewis Hurley, am I the only one who thought Inoue versus Donaire was really special? That's by far my favourite fight this year. No, man, I agree with you, man. That fight is right up there for fight of the year. Great fight. Donaire kind of rolled back for clock. You know, he had some great moments. He hurt Inoue with a right hand, busted his eye, gave him some really, really hard moments. And Inoue came through it. He passed his chin check. He passed his gut check. And he got the win. Really, really good fight. Really good fight. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Stephen Lawler in the chat. What's going on, man? How you doing? Crazy D3, are you brown? Everybody always asks that for some reason. I don't know why, but if you followed my Twitter, you would know the answer to that question. But there we go. We'll leave it at that. Matt, what's up, Matt? Matt Heisman. Shout out to Matt Heisman, by the way. I'm good, man. We've just started a new job, so a little bit stressed, I guess. But yeah, I'm doing okay, man. It'll either work out or it won't, man. So yeah, why stress about it, right? But yeah, I'm going okay. I'm doing okay. Exactly 4-7. Nothing better than an ice-cold beer, especially after a long day. Be positive, a Tommy Morrison quote. Jesus Christ. I've got a tough question. Was it drugs or being gay that fucked me up? Probably a bit of both, mate, if I'm being honest. Probably a bit of both. I love some of these screen names, man, that come through. There's some crackers out there. There really is. Yeah, 4-7, I agree. Inoue, for me, he proved a lot in that fight. A lot of people were down on Inoue's performance in regards to his defense and things like that. And I get that. You know, he did get hit quite a bit. However, like I said earlier, he passed his gut check and he passed his chin check. He's got a hell of a chin because Donaire was a lot bigger than him. And he took some flush punches from Nonito Donaire. Donaire, yes, a bit past his best, I agree. But the guy can still punch. And Inoue took those shots. And he took them quite well, to be honest, as a smaller man. So Inoue's got a really good chin. I think we can say that. He's got a really good chin. And Stephen Lawler, he says, Inoue no doubt deserves to be top 10 pound for pound. I agree. I mean, he came through fire against a bigger man, against a more experienced man. I think he proved a lot in that fight. I really do. Be positive, Tommy Morrison. Needles or men, how do you think I got HIV? Again, a bit of both. A bit of both. Copendo9, who is Marcos Maidana fighting? Yes. Now, I saw something about this. He's coming back in April for a farewell fight or something like that. And from what I saw, he's fighting a kickboxer in a 5-round fight. So there we go. There we go. Maybe just a quick cash grab, I guess. I don't know. But I always used to like Marcos Maidana. I liked his style of fighting. Powerful puncher. Left it all on the line. I liked Maidana. There was Stephen Lawler. There was somebody called Barney in a live stream I watched the other day. Jesus Christ. Yeah, AKS 99, I agree. It's a shame we never got Inoue, Estrada, Rungvisai or Gonzalez. Yeah, I agree. We could still get Estrada. I think Estrada could move up to bantamweight. I think we could still get Estrada and even Rungvisai, to be honest. I think 2 of those fights are still possible. Gonzalez, listen, he doesn't need to move up to bantamweight. I'll tell you that much. But 2 of those fights are still possible. Copendo 9. Inoue may never be the same, just like Brook. Something to look out for in future fights. Yeah, he got a similar injury, but from what I heard, it wasn't a fracture. Like, there wasn't any serious damage, just like minor damage on the orbital bone. So fingers crossed he can pull through. It will be a shame to see Inoue ruined like that, to be honest. Yeah, we've got Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News in the house as well. Yeah, that Tommy Morrison account is ace. There's a few of those accounts going around, man. I love them. I really do. Theolamus Lofi, any under the radar fights happening that I should know about, asking for a casual friend? I would say Ukashir Farouk versus Lee McGregor. I'm pretty sure that goes on this weekend. I've not checked the calendar, but I know that's very soon. I think it's this weekend. That's a really good fight at domestic level. Both guys are unbeaten. Both guys are good prospects. Look out for that fight. Really good fight. 4-7. It's like when Josh Taylor, everyone says he gets hit too much and he takes them really well. Everyone will start picking a puncher against Inoue Watch. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you step up, you know. You're going to take more punishment for the most part. You know, that's part of the course, I guess. All I'm saying is, as a boxing fan, I got a great fight. I was thoroughly entertained, and that's all there is to it. You know, Inoue's a problem at bantamweight. I would pick Inoue to beat every bantamweight right now. Luis Nieri, Nordimu Bali. I would pick him to beat these dudes. Solane Tete. I would make Inoue a favourite over all of these guys. I'm not saying they would be easy fights, but I would certainly pick him. Crazy D3, who do you think Canelo's next opponent will be? Good question. I think Billy Joe Saunders has a really, really good chance. I think Canelo can still make 168. Billy Joe has a title. It's a big enough fight, I guess. You know, I could see Billy Joe Saunders getting that fight with Canelo. I don't think it ends well for Billy Joe, personally. I think he loses, but I could see that fight happening. Yeah, we've got a Duck in the chat, my favourite Dutchman. What's going on, Duck? How you doing? Yeah, exactly, Ivana. Ivana Humpalot. Marcus Maidana shouldn't have retired in the first place. He missed the boat, I agree. If he comes back now in any serious capacity, you know, fighting good level guys, he'll get smoked. Like I said, I always used to like Marcus Maidana. He was actually one of my favourite fighters when he was active, but he never really lived the life. Been out a long time. I don't think he can make a successful comeback, if I'm being honest. I really don't. Chris Hayes, Inoue kills Josh Taylor. Jesus. What's going on, Chris? How you doing? How you doing? Duck. The Japanese are tough men. Brooke is a homosexual. I'm not going to comment on that opinion, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Be positive, a Tommy Morrison quote. So did you know back in the 90s you came out as gay in your post-mortem for AIDS? Fantastic back then. Most people nowadays are forced to come out due to PC. Let people spread the love. Fucking hell. Yeah, give it a watch, Theolamos. It's a good fight. A really good fight. Ukashir Farouk versus Lee McGregor. Good fight. Both unbeaten. Both prospects. Both guys are getting hyped in Scotland. Good fight. I'm definitely going to watch that fight. 100%. Yeah, Doc, I agree. I think Saunders was in a really close fight with what was his name? Cosores. That was a really, really close fight. I certainly don't think he was winning. Maybe 5 rounds apiece, maybe 6-4 to Cosores. Close fight, and he was in need of a knockout because he was looking bad, man. He was losing rounds. He was looking bad. He needed a knockout, and he got it. I'll give him that credit, but I don't think Billy Joe Saunders belongs at 168. To be honest, I really don't. I think he's too small for that weight class. I think he's carrying too much weight. His body doesn't look right. His reflexes seem off. His hand speed seems off. His foot speed seems off. Billy Joe doesn't look as good at 168. I don't care what anybody says. Crazy D3, do you think Errol Spence is finished as a top-level fighter? I'm not sure, man. It's hard to say. I need to find out a bit more information of what actually went on before I can really comment. But the whole scenario is a little bit fishy. It really is. I need a bit more time to see. I need to see what Errol Spence looks like when we see him in public for the first time. I think there's I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. Ivana Humpalot, I believe so. I believe Lee McGregor. I think that fight is on YouTube. Shepherd of Sons, I agree. I believe Billy Joe Saunders is in a similar boat to Tyson Fury. I've said this about Tyson Fury. I feel the same about Billy Joe. Next time Billy Joe fights an elite level fighter, he will lose. Trust me, he'll lose. He will lose. Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News. Are you going to watch Gulamarian versus Kane Watts? I might do. Kane Watts really isn't great though. I expect Gulamarian to get the job done and get the knockout, to be honest. But Gulamarian's a good fighter. He's like a poor man's version of Murat Gassiev, kind of. And he actually trains with Abel Sanchez, so you can see that style influence on Gulamarian. Yeah, I agree, GB Boxing. Saunders at 168 gets washed by Canelo. At 160, he would edge Saunders ever so slightly. I would pick Canelo over Saunders anyway, either way, to be honest with you. But at 168, he's going to get beat up. I'll say that much. I think Billy Joe at middleweight is... he's a much better fighter, as far as I'm concerned. He's a much better fighter. 4'7", he's saying Billy Joe is 5'9", not 6 foot. I agree. He's definitely not 6 foot. Maybe 5'10". I've seen Billy Joe in person, and I'm a fair bit taller than him. I'm 6'1", and he's not 6 foot. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, I agree, Ivana. Saunders doesn't. He's never really looked like an elite level athlete. Billy Joe Saunders. The only time Billy Joe looked good was in the David Lemieux fight and the Willie Monroe Jr. fight. In terms of aesthetics, he looked like an athlete. He looked like a boxer in those fights. But, you know, recently he's looked quite poor. And I know it's not a bodybuilding contest. I get that. But for me, it's obvious to see Billy Joe doesn't look as good with this extra weight on. I think it's obvious to see. And I believe he gets smoked by the 168-pounders right now. Callum Smith, Benavidez, Caleb Plant. I would make these guys favourite over Billy Joe Saunders, to be honest. If Canelo fights Saunders, it shows you exactly that he always wants to fight the weakest link. He called Andrade boring and unproven, but Saunders is not. That's a good point. I can't argue with that, Duck. That's a really good point. That is a really good point. Chris Hayes is the Lizard King. He can do anything he wants. Shout out to Chris Hayes. Yeah, I agree with Vanna Hump a lot. I think Billy Joe Saunders and Fury might be the most overrated fighters in Britain. After most of their fights, people just complain about lackluster performances. Yeah, Billy Joe and Tyson Fury, for me, what I've noticed, it's either one thing or the other. People either completely say they're shit and write them off, or they gas them up to new levels. They are both very good fighters, but they are not the fighters their fanboys portray them as. They are both beatable. They can both get knocked out. They can both get beat. You know, I don't see what these guys are seeing, especially with Tyson Fury. Yo, Dominic Chetchery in the chat. Shout out to Dominic. What's going on, man? Another one of the long-term supporters. Shout out to Dominic. Yeah, AKS 99, that's a good point. If Canelo fights Smith, he'll win before the fight has even started with a rehydration clause. Yeah, that's the thing now with Canelo. You know, that's the thing. That's why Dimitri Bivol makes a lot of sense for me as a fan. Because, yes, he's a light heavyweight, but he's not a big light heavyweight. You wouldn't imagine he would be as affected by a rehydration clause as a lot of fighters are. You know? So I would rather Canelo fights Dimitri Bivol. And if he fights Callum Smith, I would imagine there will be some type of rehydration clause. And he will take that fight with a rehydration clause. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. GB Boxing. Saunders will fight the Smith-Ryder winner. Eddie filling his brain with a Canelo dream fight. That won't happen. Yeah, I agree. I would like the Saunders versus Smith-Ryder winner. I'd like that. I'd pick Callum Smith to beat Billy Joe, but it's still a decent fight. Crazy D3, do you think Chisora will contest a seat for the Brexit Party on the 12th of December? Why not, man? Why not? Shout out to Brexit Chisora. Yo, Triple J in the chat. Shout out to Triple J, another one of the long-time supporters. Yeah, Chris Hayes, I would as well. I'd watch Smith-Saunders. Yeah, Stephen Lawler. I will agree with what Stephen Lawler said. Drop the like, people. Again, all the big YouTubers say it. Apparently, it helps their channel out. So if you could, smash that like button. It would be much appreciated. Would Haney beat Campbell right now? This is from Duck. Would Haney beat Campbell right now? I don't think so. I think it's a hell of a fight. I really do. It's hard to say right now. I would need to think about it, but he would ask questions of Devin Haney that haven't been asked before. And that fight will tell us exactly where Devin Haney is and how far he's got to go to get to the next level. I think the Luke Campbell fight is perfect for Devin Haney. I really do. I think we now need to see him in with that type of fighter. The guy's been getting hyped. The guy's been getting gassed up. It's time to throw him in there with one of these guys like Luke Campbell. He's got the distinction of being a champion, so there's no reason whatsoever why that fight shouldn't happen. Campbell is highly ranked. They are both with the same promoter. Make that fight happen, and we'll find out a lot about Devin Haney. If Devin Haney can beat Luke Campbell regardless, it's a good win. If he can beat Luke Campbell in good fashion, fair play to him. But I think it's a tough fight. I think it's a tough fight. Dominic Chechery, I want to go to the next gen. When is the next gen card? I don't even know. Crazy D3, Bivol is too fresh and fast for Canelo. I certainly believe there's a style disadvantage for Canelo in that fight. I think Bivol's style is tough for Canelo, a guy who's more flat-footed, a guy who likes to set his feet when he punches. A guy like Bivol who can stick and move behind that jab could be a problem. Big Stiff Idiot, what's going on, man? Another one of the guys who's been around a long time, so shout out to Big Stiff Idiot. What's happening? I'm good, man. Can Inoue clean up at 118? Hang on, we've lost the comment. 1 second. Yeah, can Inoue clean up at 118? A lot of tasty fighters down there. I would pick him to beat most of those guys, if not all of them. But, you know, Luis Nieri, Zalane Tete, Nordimu Bali, these are all really good fights. I don't think he blows out anybody, to be honest, but I would make him a favourite to beat these guys. They are all really good fights, though. Nordimu Bali, in particular, is very underrated. I know he's getting on. He's like 33 years old, but the guy's as strong as an ox, man. He's really strong. He's got decent power. He's very awkward. He applies relentless pressure. Nordimu Bali's a really good fighter. He's a really, really good fighter. Chris Hayes, who's Callum Smith beaten apart from an injured George Groves? Nobody, really. Nobody. I would say his best wins after George Groves were Eric Skoglund. I think that win is a little underrated. I think Skoglund was a good European-level fighter. He beat Rocky Fielding. There's not really much there. To be quite honest. What's up, ABC? Shout out to ABC, another one of the regulars, man. Duck, he says, feed Saunders to my boy Melikuziev. I've not seen Melikuziev fight before. I'm usually up to date with these Eastern Europeans. I've not seen him fight yet. I'll check him out. Lewis Hurley, Smith is good, but he gets overrated by some British fans. I agree. Some people underrate him, but yeah, some people do overrate him. Again, it's one of those things like it's either one thing or the other. I do rate Callum Smith. I think he's a really tough fight for anybody at 168. But he's no, he's not the most dynamic fighter in the world, I guess. There are holes there in his game, but I think he's a good fighter, Callum Smith. I really do. ABC Def, he's saying Luke Campbell whoops Devin Haney. It could happen. It's a big step up. I want to see it, man. I really want to see it. And again, there's no reason why that fight should not happen. If Devin Haney's a world champion, it's time to conduct yourself like one. Fight somebody like Luke Campbell. And if you can do a better job than Lomachenko, all of the credit in the world. But I think he knows that's a tough fight, and I think Eddie Hearn knows that's a tough fight. Yeah, Stephen Lawler, that's a good card, So Haney versus Campbell, Chisora versus Parker, double headline it in the UK next year. That's a good card. I'd like that. Devin Ellaby, Max Kuckerman, yeah. He's his long-lost fucking love child, man. Jesus. Yeah, Stephen, I agree. I'd watch that card. Hang on. I think we are well behind. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News. Del, close your eyes for 1 minute and imagine in the ring and ask yourself, can Callum Smith beat Canelo? I don't think so. Yeah, I think there's too many things going against Callum Smith, to be honest with you. Guilty Simpson, that's a good comment. Campbell is getting overrated due to his Lomachenko performance. He's had plenty of subpar performances against lesser fighters. I agree with that as well. I do think Luke Campbell has got overrated a little bit in recent months. I think that's fair to say. But I still believe he's a genuine top 10 lightweight right now. I think he's a genuine top 10 contender. But I do agree, he's had fights against the likes of Yves Mendy and who was the other dude he struggled against? Argenis Mendez, people like that. He's had his really awkward fights. He's had his fights he's struggled in. He's not I wouldn't say he's top 5 at lightweight, but I certainly believe he's top 10. GV Boxing, Devin Haney will be rushed like most matchroom fighters. It could happen, but in this case, I'm kind of all for it because, Devin Haney's got a world title. So if you've got a world title, you should be willing to fight anybody. So, I still think Devin Haney needs a couple of learning fights, if I'm being honest. But because he's got that title, he doesn't really have that luxury as far as I'm concerned. Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News. Richard Riakporhe versus Jack Massey. Good fight. I would take Riakporhe, to be honest with you. Big dude at cruiserweight, heavy-handed, a little bit raw, a little bit limited, but I think his physicality will count in that fight. Jack Massey, not really fought at the same level. Decent enough boxer, but not a puncher, not as physically imposing. I would take Riakporhe to win that fight, maybe down the stretch. Guilty Simpson, Devin Haney, Javier Fortuna purse bid ordered. Yeah, I saw that. Not really sure what I think about that fight. I've still not seen Fortuna's last fight. Oh, Fabio Wardley versus Valili. That's a good fight, Unrivaled. Good little step up for Fabio Wardley. I'm taking Wardley in that fight. He's the guy with more momentum, I guess. He's the prospect. He's the A side, and Valili's coming up from cruiserweight. So I would take Wardley, but Wardley's not exactly the best prospect in the world. But it's a good fight. It's a decent fight. I can't lie. Should be a fun one. Decent enough fight. Yeah, next, Stephen Lawler. The next gen main events are all right, but the undercards are rubbish at the minute. Yeah, I think next gen, the concept is really good. I don't mind the concept at all, but I don't think the execution has been necessarily great, to be honest. But I do like the concept of next gen. I would like to see all the next gen shows though on a Wednesday night or a Friday night, not on a Saturday night like some have been. They shouldn't really be taking up main Sky Sports slots. But there we go. That's just my opinion. ABC Death, only Beterbiev beats Canelo. Do you know what? I think I agree, ABC. I think Beterbiev is the only fighter I would confidently pick to beat Canelo. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yo, Timmy Nealon, sorry, I'll start that again. Timmy Nealon in the chat. What's up, Del? I'm good, man. How are you doing? Again, Timmy been supporting the channel big time, so shout out to Timmy. Yeah, Stephen Lawler. We've actually got a fair bit of boxing in December. We've got Charlo versus Tony Harrison on the 21st of December. I'll tell you what, I really like that fight. I really do. I think that's a great rematch. A lot of people, I made a video about it, and a few commenters weren't as sold as I was. I really like that fight. So I'm looking forward to that. You've got Tank Davis versus Yuriorkis Gamboa on the 28th of December. Not a great fight, but at least we have some boxing over Christmas. You know, as a boxing fan, Christmas isn't exactly the time for great fights. And I'm not saying the Gamboa fight's great, but at least we have something. So at least we have some boxing in December. Guilty Simpson. Canelo will fight Saunders or the smaller Bivol. He won't go near Beterbiev or Andrade. I don't think he's fighting Andrade. I think he's made that perfectly clear. And I would be very shocked if he fought Beterbiev. I agree. Even Bivol is a really risky fight as far as I'm concerned. Max Kuckerman, Devin Ellaby, our WBC champion, loves fighting 25 to 50 ranked lightweights. Yeah, the dude he was fighting really wasn't anything special. Inexperienced, never really beat anybody of any consequence. I mean, the guy went to a majority decision against Jason Velez. Jason Velez these days, kind of a gatekeeper. If you're struggling against Jason Velez, you're probably not world level. So there we go. There we go. Yo, ABC Def, he says, make Akhmadaliev versus Inoue after Akhmadaliev beats Danny Roman. Yeah, that's a sick fight. Man, Akhmadaliev versus Danny Roman needs to get rescheduled. Me and Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News, at the time of that fight, or just before it, sorry, we was hyped about that fight and it never came off. So hopefully that fight actually comes to fruition and we get to see it. Because Akhmadaliev is a really good prospect who's challenging for a world title really early. And listen, Danny Roman is no bum. He's a very good fighter. I think Danny Roman is underrated. Does all of the basics extremely well. Good body puncher. Always a guy who keeps his shape very well. Tough dude. Danny Roman's a good fighter. Danny Roman's a really good fighter. Yeah, Stephen Lawler. So we've got Next Gen on the 19th of December. And we've got Danny Jacobs versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. on the 20th. Yeah. Danny Jacobs is going to beat the absolute piss out of Chavez. He's going to smash him up. I cannot stand Chavez Jr., so I'd like to see that. I'm not a fan of Chavez. Never have been. Never will be. Can't stand the dude. Ever since he fought Sergio Martinez, or the build-up to that fight, before it even happened, he got gifted that WBC title. When basically it was Sergio Martinez's. Basically, Chavez Jr. was the prototype Canelo, essentially. Shepherd of Sons, yes sir, the Uzbek army, the Central Asians. Fight Film, shout out to Fight Film. Check his channel out as well. Does some really good breakdowns. Kovalev had the style to beat a blown-up welterweight in Canelo, but the midget walked him down. Bivol gets sparked. Canelo for president. Yeah, man. Kovalev was it was a terrible performance, man. It really was. And again, I can see where people are coming from in regards to people saying he threw the fight. I really can. because that wasn't the Kovalev we are used to seeing. I think we can all agree that, whether we think it was fixed or thrown or not, I think we can all agree that wasn't the Kovalev we're used to seeing. I personally believe he was drained, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't believe he's got the hunger anymore. And yeah, I don't think he's about it anymore personally, but we'll see. We'll see with Kovalev. I'll tell you what, though, I'm not really interested anyway. I know he's got 2 more fights with DAZN, which is fishy in itself, but I'm not interested. I'm not interested in Kovalev right now. I'm really not. Not that he lost, man. It was how he lost. Oh, fuck's sake! I lost where I was now. It's typical. Duck, he says, who would you rate above Campbell at lightweight if you don't think he's top 5? So Lomachenko, Richard Comey. I mean, Teofimo's a hard one. It's I'd probably say Teofimo's better than Luke Campbell. I'd pick him in a straight up fight against Campbell. I mean, he beat I know triangle theories don't work in boxing, but hear me out. He beat the guy, Edis Tatley, who beat Yves Mendy, who obviously beat Luke Campbell. And maybe Teofimo's got a case. Who else is at lightweight right now? I mean, Tank Davis hasn't fought there yet. Devin Haney's not exactly fought anybody. Yeah, maybe Luke Campbell is top 5, you know, having said that. Maybe Campbell is top 5. But I think within the next year, you'll see, once these guys get introduced to the lightweight division, I don't think the guy's going to be top 5 end of next year. I really don't. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think Luke Campbell against Lomachenko, obviously Campbell's a good fighter, don't get me wrong. He's an Olympian, he's a gold medalist, and he's big for the weight as well. He's a good fighter, but I think he just raised his game against Lomachenko, you know? It was like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He's never going to fight somebody that good again, so he raised his game. I think what you'll see now, he'll kind of revert to his level and, you know, he'll pick up losses like he did against Linares, like he did against Mendy. He'll lose to top contenders. I don't think he's good enough to wash anybody at lightweight. I will say that right now. He's not good enough to wash Teofimo Lopez or Richard Comey or even Devin Haney, as unproven as Devin Haney is. But we'll see. Time will tell ultimately. Time will tell. I think if Luke Campbell was going to be a world champion, he'd have done it by now. Because lightweight hasn't always been this strong. He'd have done it by now. Jackal Davis. Yeah, shout out to Jackal Davis. What's going on, man? Duck, he says Fortuna versus Haney is very intriguing to me. Yeah, he's got an ugly kind of style. He's awkward. He's herky-jerky. You know, low center of gravity. He's an awkward fighter. Again, I need to watch his last fight, but yeah, Fortuna can make it a really tough night for anybody on his day. Just one of those type of fighters. Yeah, Shepherd of Suns. Yeah, he says it in this comment. Fortuna might be too awkward for Devil Lamey. He could be, man. He is very awkward, Fortuna. Wild swings, you know, ducks low. He can kind of keep you off balance. He comes in at weird angles. He can lead with his head. He can be dirty. You know, he's a really rough, tough, awkward fighter. So that'd be a good test for Devin Haney, actually, come to think of it, you know? It'd be a decent test. Big stiff idiot. Fuck next gen. Bring back prize fighter. Yes, sir. I agree. Yeah, the Shepherd of Suns, Beterbiev, the hero we need. He beats Canelo, no doubt. Yeah, unrivaled. I agree. I think Fortuna gives Haney issues, but ultimately, yeah, Haney probably wins. Duck, he is saying, he's replying to Unrivaled. He's saying Fortuna can beat him. Has Haney actually fought a good southpaw yet? He looked clueless when Santiago went southpaw. Good question, good comment. But, you know, he's not exactly the same fighter as Santiago. Santiago, tall, rangy, whereas, you know, Javier Fortuna, a short guy, you know, a guy who applies pressure. They are different fighters, but yeah, you can ask that question. I felt Santiago was doing a good job of getting that right hand in over Devin Haney's shoulder roll, you know, and that could be something to look out for as Devin Haney goes through the weight classes when he's fighting taller, bigger guys. If they can punch over that shoulder roll, Devin Haney could be in trouble. I'll tell you that now. And also, Devin Haney's inside game really, really disappointed me against Alfredo Santiago. It was basically non-existent, man. Clinching, holding, mauling, seemed very reluctant to work on the inside. That was also another concern for me. So listen, I'm not sitting here and telling you Devin Haney's a elite world level fighter right now in terms of like he beats all of these guys or I would pick him to beat these guys. But for me, like I said, for me, he's a prospect with a belt right now. I made a video about Devin Haney and his performance against Santiago. I think he's a good prospect with a belt. But because you've got a belt, you don't have the same luxuries that a prospect should have. You're calling yourself a world champion. Conduct yourself like one. Fight a Luke Campbell. Fight somebody along those lines. You know? No more development fights. Not when you've got a title. Either give it up or behave like a champion. He's got two choices now. And we'll see how good Devin Haney is very shortly, in my opinion. We'll see how good he is. I think he's good. I think he's overrated by some people, but I do think he's decent enough. He's a good prospect. I'll say that much. Only person Fortuna will trouble in the ring are moppers. Jesus. Fucking hell. Jackal Davis, I completely agree. Dimitri Bivol is better than people realise. I feel he can surprise everybody. Remember that he didn't shy away from calling out Beterbiev, Vodzik, or Zerdo. The guy's not scared. Yeah, I think he'll fight anybody. Dimitri Bivol. Seems like he's got his head screwed on right. Seems like he wants to fight for best. He's a good technical boxer. Lovely feet, lovely jab, lovely 1-2, quick hands. Small for light heavyweight, but the guy's got some really, really good attributes. And I'll be intrigued to see how he gets on against the likes of Vodzik, Beterbiev, or anybody like that. Ramirez. These are all good fights for Bivol. And yeah, I do think some people are sleeping on Bivol. Very good fighter. Stephen Lawler, he'd like to see Callum Smith in there with Beterbiev, to be fair. Yeah, let's be honest, man. Callum Smith's a light heavyweight. How that guy makes 168 is beyond me. The guy could go up to cruiserweight, in all honesty. I don't really use the whole weight bully term that often, but if there's a weight bully in boxing, it's Callum Smith. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. The guy's massive. And it's like Devin Haney as well. Like, you know, he can get away with certain things at lightweight, but when he moves up through the weight classes, can he get away with those same things against bigger, taller guys? You know, like that right hand over the shoulder roll? I'm not so sure. I don't see a multi-weight world champion in Devin Haney, or not, or at least not a great one. But we'll see. Time will tell. He's only 20 years old, I guess. You know, he's got time to improve. He's not exactly going to plateau at 20 years old. So yeah, I'll sit on the. I'm sitting on the fence with Devin Haney. Good prospect, but I'm not prepared to say he's the goods, kind of thing. ABC, he's saying he's sure Hearn said it'll be on Yafai Estrada card next year. Oh, you mean Akhmadaliev versus Danny Roman? Yeah, that'd be a good card if Kal Yafai versus Estrada and Akhmadaliev versus Roman are on the same card. Count me in. That's a really good card. Count me in. Unrivaled boxing talk and news. What do you think of Huey Furberger's next fight? Huey Fury. Huey Fury is fighting Pavel Sauer next. Yeah, terrible fight. Not interested. I'm not interested at all. I very much doubt I'll watch it. I very much doubt it. If I'm watching that fight on a Saturday night, there's something fucking wrong. Jesus. I always fall so far behind, lads. I'm fucking sorry, but you'd think I'd get good at this by now, but we're not. Yeah, unrivaled boxing talk and news. If Huey Fury's such a good boxer, why has he had 3 losses all on points? Yeah, exactly. The guy's too passive. The guy's jab is terrible. His punch output's terrible. He's far too negative. He's got no power. The guy's not an elite level boxer. Straight up. Yeah, we've got L Dog in the chat. Shout out to L Dog. What's going on, man? He says the only time I've seen Pavel Sauer fight is when Hrgovic deleted him from existence. Yeah, I remember that fight as well. I think Pavel Sauer also recently fought Jermaine Franklin as well, the US prospect, who's not very good. But yeah, Pavel Sauer, not great, to be honest. Huey Fury should really knock him out. What if Kome bangs Lopez? Sorry, I'm presuming you meant what if Kome bangs Lopez the fuck out? What a statement that would be. But I do like Teofimo. Yeah, no, I agree. I think Kome can beat Teofimo Lopez. Kome's a big dude for the weight class, carries power in both hands, durable. And, you know, Teofimo, is he the goods? Is he not? Time will tell. He certainly struggled against Nakatani. You know, Nakatani went in there with a decent game plan, straight punches. You know, he was the taller, longer man, tried to keep it at range, and he gave Teofimo Lopez all of the trouble in the world. Now, Richard Commey isn't that type of fighter, but if Commey can implement a game plan that puts Teofimo Lopez off his game plan, then how's he going to react to that? I don't think Teofimo Lopez reacted well to Nakatani. So how's he going to react if Richard Commey is putting it on him and hurting him? How's he going to react? Not so sure. Not so sure. Theolemus Lofi, Huey Fury is fringe level at best. I agree. And I think that's being too kind, to be honest with you. L Dog, he thinks Luke Campbell would beat Devin Haney if they fought next. Sorry, yeah, could happen. Wouldn't rule it out. Wouldn't be shocked. Again, I'm sitting here saying that's the fight to make. I think that's the fight to make. It would do good business in the UK. I think Luke Campbell's certainly a bigger name now than he was 6 months ago because of that Lomachenko fight. Devin Haney is starting to get some hype. That's a big fight in the UK. Put it at the O2. I'm sure it does good business. And like I said, that's a really, really good test for Devin Haney. But also for Luke Campbell, it's a great way to get back in the mix. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I don't really have any dog in that fight. Just a good fight. Yeah, Jackal Davis, I agree. Huey's a disappointment, but Chavez is a disgrace. Yes, sir. He is a disgrace. Chavez Jr., of course. Not senior. Yeah, Chavez Jr. The guy's a clown. Yo, JT, what's up, man? Long time no see. Not seen you for a while. Shout out to JT. JT's been around for quite some time, so shout out, man. Glad you're here. L Dog, what's with these people who think Haney would beat Lomachenko? I heard somebody say that Haney versus Lomachenko would be similar to Mayweather versus Hatton. I don't get how you can come to that comparison. I really don't. First and foremost, Lomachenko is light years different to Ricky Hatton. Just he's superior in pretty much every fashion. And Devin Haney's not as good as Floyd. Terrible comparison. Man, based on that last fight, Lomachenko would tool Devin Haney. Devin Haney's feet were terrible against Santiago. Awful. He would get completely outboxed. And to be honest with you, it's to the point now where I wouldn't even really be that excited for Devin Haney versus Lomachenko because of that performance. I think he needs to do a lot of learning. I think he needs to make a lot of improvements. And for me, he's just not ready for that fight yet. And again, I think Luke Campbell is the perfect fight to see if he is ready. If he can beat Luke Campbell, it's a good win. If he can beat Luke Campbell in good fashion, then fair play. Then he's ready. But the fact of the matter is, whether you rate him highly, whether you think he's a hype job, or whether you're in the middle like me, the guy's not fought a top 10 genuine lightweight yet. That's Devin Haney, sorry. He's not fought a genuine top 10 lightweight. I think we can all agree. So I just want to see this guy in a fight where we can see how good he is. That's what I want. I'm not interested in, hyping the guy up or calling him a hype job. I just want to sit back and see how good the kid is. That's my MO. And if he's good enough, he's good enough. If he's not, he's not. Boxing moves on. Life moves on. Shepherd of Sons, Fortuna TBE. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, Javier Fortuna fucking beat Robert Easter Jr., as far as I'm concerned. Stephen Lawler, I want Price to have one last big fight at the Echo Arena in a Sky Sports headliner against Huey Furbergers. No, I want David Price versus Deontay Wilder. Make it happen. L-Dog, Haney is one-dimensional. He attacks in straight lines with no head movement and does not utilize feints to create openings. I agree, especially with the feinting part. Devin Haney became very telegraphed with his attacks against Alfredo Santiago. And the right hand in particular was very, very, very telegraphed, loading up. And, Santiago kind of saw it coming. And there was very little dynamism from Devin Haney against Santiago. Given the hype, I was expecting a really, really, really good performance, and I didn't get it. And yeah, I agree. Devin Haney's got some flaws, like you mentioned, kind of predictable at times with his power shots. No real inside game from what we've seen so far. Defensively, not as great as people are making out. The guy has flaws. The next Floyd, listen, whether you like Floyd or not, he's not at that level. He's not. Yeah, no, Theolemus, I agree. Triangles don't always work. I do agree. But I think you're referring to my earlier comment about Luke Campbell. My point on Luke Campbell is he's not quite as good as a lot are making out. And I think we'll see that in the next 12 months. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the guy's improved that much to the point now where he's a genuine top 5 contender at lightweight, no dispute. But would you pick him confidently to beat Comey? Would you pick Campbell confidently to beat Teofimo or even Devin Haney? I would say he's got a chance in those fights, but would I pick him confidently? Absolutely not. Gervonta Davis, again, got a chance, but a confident pick? You're not getting that from me. Jackal Davis, even Floyd used the high guard against southpaws. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. That's a really good point. That's in reference to your other comment about Philly shells not for southpaws. Yeah, that's a good observation. Duck, he says Kovalev gets one comeback win and he gets fed to Bivol. Yeah, could happen. Bivol or Beterbiev, one of the two. More than likely Bivol. Obviously, he's on the zone. So yeah, definitely Bivol. Definitely Bivol. Shepherd of Sons, Dell only has a dog in the fight when Beterbiev, Makhmudov, or Madrimov are fighting. Yes, sir. You know how it is. War Beterbiev, War Makhmudov, War Madrimov. That's the way it's got to be. That's the way it's got to be. We're going to start the fucking Central Asian boxing community. The Central Asian, yeah, boxing community. That's what we'll start that off. Why not? Why not? Yeah, man, Stephen Lawler. Lawrence Okoli versus Andrew Tabiti. That's the worst fight I think you've ever fucking mentioned, man. Terrible fight. That's an awful fight, man. L Dog, he's saying the only person he sees beating Lomachenko is Tank Davis. Even then, only a puncher's chance. I mean, maybe. I think, again, Tank Davis, I need to see more, man. I need to see more. I mean, ultimately, the guy has not fought an elite level fighter since 2017 when he fought Pedraza. He's basically done nothing since then. So let's see how he looks against Gamboa. I'm presuming he knocks Gamboa out. After that, I want to see him tested at lightweight. You know, again, a top 5, top 6 contender. And maybe Tank Davis can give Lomachenko problems, but I mean, if he was confident, he would have taken that fight already. So I'm not sure. I'm not sold on Tank Davis. I'm not. The guy has certain flaws that I believe will be exposed against somebody like Lomachenko. He's got that Adrian Broner type footwork where he drags his back leg like he's had a stroke. You know, he's a good puncher. He's explosive. And he's a good talent. But has he really improved the last 2 years? It's hard to say. He's not fought anybody. If he had improved, surely his team would be matching him with tougher fights. I'm not sure with Gervonta Davis, man. I'm not sure. Yeah, old dog, that's a really good point. So he says he rewatched the Lomachenko Pedraza and Gervonta Pedraza fights, and honestly, I thought Lomachenko's performance was just as good. Pedraza landed less punches on Loma over 12 than he did on Tank. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, Gervonta Davis got the knockout and he looked explosive, but yeah, he still had more punches landed on him in the process. So yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. And as you say, yeah, Lomachenko beat Pedraza at his best weight class. Yeah, you can also make that argument as well. The Quags, he wants a Povetkin Price rematch. I would watch it and I would enjoy it. You know, I'm a sick fuck. What can I say? Domo 5K, Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. He says, I don't know. Gervonta's a powerhouse, but he'd have Garcia in 4. Jesus Christ. I'd have Tank Davis to beat Gervonta Davis. I can't lie. Well, no, hang on. Sorry. I would have Tank Davis to beat Ryan Garcia, I should say. Yeah, Tank Davis, I would say, to beat Ryan Garcia. No worries on Rival Boxing Talk and News, a.k.a. McGregor, a.k.a. my favourite Irishman. Shout out to you, man. And by the way, lads, if you've not checked out Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News, click on his channel, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, give him a follow, man. I'm sure you guys are sub to him anyway, but I always like to say it. I always like to say it. Yeah, be safe, Mark. Be safe. Stephen Lawler, he says Davis's style is made for Lomachenko. I can see that. I really can. Toby Bartlett in the chat. Shout out to Toby Bartlett. What's going on, man? How you doing? Yeah, man, I'm pretty good, bruv. I'm pretty good. Could be better, could be worse. We could be a millionaire sipping a fucking margarita on the beach, but we could be fucking living in Vagata, so we're okay, man. You know? Could be better, could be worse. It is what it is. Duck, he says he made easy money off the Cepeda win against Pedraza. Yeah, I remember you saying about that before the fight, actually. I think you was mentioning it in the Discord, maybe. Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News, he's always safe. Contraception stops more child support trials. Exactly, sir. Exactly. You are more than correct, sir. I mean, I'd rather catch AIDS than have a kid, man. Trust me. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather be the next fucking Tommy Morrison, bruv. So there we go. What can we say? But yeah, man, the whole Devin Haney hype, it's getting a little bit overboard. And, you know, another one of my, I made a video about Devin Haney's performance against Santiago. I think another thing, maybe the kid's feeling the pressure. Maybe he's feeling all of his hype. He knew he was on a really, really big card against a lower level opposition, let's be honest, and he failed to deliver. He should be beating that guy in better fashion if he's as good as people say he is. But, you know, it never happened. Maybe that's because of the added pressure. Maybe that's because he's not had the learning fights. Who knows? Or maybe it's just because the guy's not as good as we think he is, or some people are saying he is. But again, time will tell. Time will tell. Jekyll Davis, you forgot about Magic Johnson and HIV. Yeah, didn't Magic Johnson get HIV and lose it or something? I don't know. I'm not a fan of like American sports, but I heard something like that. Minimax Boxing, I thought Cepeda beat Ramirez, to be honest. It was a really, really close fight. It was a really close fight. I felt Ramirez just about nicked it, but I can see the argument. He certainly gave Ramirez a lot of problems out of that southpaw stance. He was boxing well, countering quite effectively. That was actually a really good fight. That was a really good fight. Domo 5K, he's got AJ over Ruiz. I've not made my pick yet. I will do a prediction video nearer the time, maybe a week or two from now. But I've not made my pick yet. I'm still kind of unsure. I mean, I'll leave it for a video. But I'm quite unsure. I think Joshua needs to fight a fight that he's never really fought to beat Ruiz. Well, he fought that fight against Parker, but Parker doesn't really apply the same pressure as Ruiz. And, he's not as good in the exchanges as... Sorry, I think I fucked that up. I'm really tired, lads. Right. To beat Ruiz, I believe Joshua needs to fight a fight that he's not really fought so far, in the sense of sticking and moving, keeping range for whole 12 rounds. He did do that against Parker, but Parker doesn't really apply pressure like Ruiz. He doesn't punch in bunches like Ruiz. He's not as good in the exchanges as Ruiz. And he just doesn't apply that mental pressure. So can Joshua replicate that Parker performance against Ruiz? I'm not so sure. If Joshua sets his feet with Ruiz, there's a good chance he gets knocked out again. There's a really good chance he gets knocked out again. Having said that, he's a big lump. He can punch himself. He could knock Ruiz out, but I think he's playing with fire if he trades with Ruiz and sets his feet. We saw that in the first fight. He dropped Ruiz, thought he had him hurt, exchanged, got clipped, and that was it. That was it. Oh, Leighton, apparently Magic Johnson cured himself. Okay, Jesus Christ. I'll have to research that because I've got no clue whatsoever. Duck, he says, why does it feel like this Tommy Morrison account is just Mark? Fuck's sake. Oh dear. Domo 5K, he only pays attention to Garcia and Canelo. He likes money-hungry fighters, not broke bums. Leighton Evelyn, he's saying Joshua beats his ass. I mean, he could win, but I think it's going to be very competitive. I think it's going to be very competitive. Big stiff idiot. Joshua looks like he's done a lot of weight, maybe too much. I could see him getting chinned again, but it's a pick'em. Yeah, I agree. I've seen him in some pictures. He looks a lot slimmer. He certainly lost weight. It's clear he's lost weight. Whether that is good for him or not, We'll see. I think Joshua needs to watch that fight between Lennox Lewis and David Tua. He needs to watch that fight and try to replicate a similar game plan. Stick and move, keep it at range. If it gets close, clinch, hold, win by any means necessary. You know, he needs. If it's boring, it's boring. But I think that's his best chance to get the win. If he lets his balls hang out and trades, there's a good chance he loses again. Doc, for fuck's sake. Jesus Christ. Jackal Davis, he says he can name 10 people who can beat Errol Spence Jr., but can you? Just curious. The Ferrari can beat Errol Spence Jr. We've seen that. Now I'm playing, but if we're talking about welterweight to 154, I would say Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford have a shot, a good shot. At 154, I would pick Julian Williams. And I would probably pick the Tony Harrison, Jamel Charlo winner. Maybe Erislandy Lara. There's a few guys who could beat Errol Spence, but I wouldn't be certain on it. I think he's a good fighter. Yeah, no, Leighton, I agree. Yeah, Joshua, he dropped Ruiz in the third round. But, you know, that was also what got him hurt because he kind of, you know, bought into the hype. Not bought into the hype, but he kind of believed in his power too much. He set his feet and he then got clipped. So it's a double-edged sword. You know, if Joshua hurts Ruiz again in this fight or drops him, it's really going to be interesting to see how Joshua follows up. Will he actually try to go for the knockout or will he play it safe this time around? It's going to be really interesting to see if that happens. If Joshua drops Ruiz, how's he going to respond to that? That'll be interesting, actually. That'll be interesting. Yeah, Riddy and Smith, I agree. Interesting to see how Joshua runs for 12 rounds. Yeah, has he got the gas tank to do it? Not so sure, man. I'm not so sure. ABC Def, I think the crash may have fucked Errol's durability. Yeah, Errol Spence Jr., for one thing, was always a tough welterweight, you know, durable, good chin. You know, these type of accidents can change you. Even if you kind of come out relatively unscathed, you can still have some lasting effects. And if you're a pro boxer, you know, maybe that could we could see that in the ring. We'll see. L Dog, Errol Spence Jr. was unconscious for a couple of hours. No telling how his chin will be. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe his chin's worse now. Maybe his chin has deteriorated from the accident. Okay, Jackal Davis, he's going to name his 10 fighters who can beat Errol Spence Jr. The Shepherd of Sons. For Ferrari has a better resume than Crawford. Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ. He's 1-0 as well. That's impressive. Beating Errol Spence on his debut, that is very impressive. I can't take that away from the Ferrari. I really can't. Yo, smash for like, lads. Apparently it helps the channel out. So, yeah, smash for like. Be much appreciated. Flemius Lofi, Alexander Usyk will teach the casuals why they are weight classes. Could happen. It could happen. Stenberg Scott. What's going on, Stenberg Scott? I've not seen you around here. But shout out, Blue Collar or Del Boy, same voice, laughing my ass off. Yeah, I'm the same person. We used to go by the name of Del Boy. We changed our name to Blue Collar, but I'm still good old Del Boy. You know, I'm still good old Del Boy. Okay, Jekyll Davis. He thinks the following fighters beat Errol Spence: Terence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, your Dennis Ugas, Tony Harrison, Jarrett Hurd, J Rock, Madrimov, and Munguia. Yeah, I can see some of those. So like Crawford, Pacquiao, J Rock, Tony Harrison. I think Ugas would be a tough fight, but I think Errol Spence gets through it. I think Danny Garcia is a really risky fight, but I would favour Errol Spence. He's already beat Porter. Well, it was a close fight. You know, that happened again. Maybe it could go the other way. But I can see some of those names beating Spence. I can. I don't think Munguia will, though. I think Munguia would get beat up, personally. I don't think Munguia is that good. No worries, Stenberg, man. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you, man. Are you new around here, or have you been following a long time, just out of curiosity? Max Kuckerman, Errol Stephen Hawkins Spence Jr. Fucking hell. Unpopular opinion. Manny Pacquiao tampered with Errol Spence's breaks. Fucking hell. Leighton Evelyn, I don't get this hype with Ruiz. What does he do if he loses? Well, if he loses, he's still a contender. You would still have to call him a top 10 heavyweight. He can definitely come again if he's got the hunger for it. You know, it'd be a setback, no doubt, but yeah, he could come back. He could actually, you know, rebound and get one more title shot. Yeah, that's a good shout, Fleamus Lofi. If Ruiz loses, a Parker rematch is likely. I think that would be a good fight. ABC Def, Errol Spence's power's overrated. Yeah, some people made out like he was a puncher. Errol Spence Jr. has always been a guy who relies on accumulation and work to the body. He'd weigh you down over a few rounds and then stop you. You know, that's his style. Look at the stoppages over Chris Van Heerden or Kell Brook. That is Errol Spence's style, really. I know he blasted out Chris Algieri, but I think that was more of a style clash more than anything. Yeah, Riddy and I agree. Riddy and Smith, I agree. It's not really hype. He beat Joshua, who was 100% a top 5 heavyweight at the time. Yeah, arguably number 1 as well. Arguably the number 1 heavyweight based on resume. And yeah, Ruiz beat him, and he beat him in good fashion. It's not like Joshua went. It's not like it's not like Ruiz went in there and got a gift decision. He went in there and knocked out the champion. So he deserves the credit. He deserves the hype. Whether he can, do that again, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, AKS 99, that is a good point. Pac's chin is way more proven than Mikey's. Only a moron would say otherwise. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Yo, L Dog, I think I've been doing live streams for a few months. Not regularly, but, for a few months. And I think I've only ever blocked one person on my channel. And they were saying some really, egregious shit. So, yeah, we don't block people over here. Doesn't matter whether you have a different opinion. None of that matters. And for moderators in here, they don't block people either. We're not one of those channels who time people out for no reason. Can't stand people who do that. When somebody comments on a channel and they just literally offer a different opinion and then they get blocked, that's crazy. But there we go. Yeah, Duck, you're right. Yeah, Mikey Garcia, he got dropped by Rocky Martinez, yeah. Keys to victory is to put down the keys for Errol Spence Jr. versus the Ferrari. That's a very good comment. I like that. that's comment of the night. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Yeah, imagine if Errol Spence Jr. in his next fight comes into the ring with Ferrari gloves, Ferrari shorts. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? That'd be amazing. Jesus Christ. Yeah, anyway, lads, I think I'm going to wrap this one up. Just a really short one. Apologies for wrapping it up so early. I will try and do a late night stream on Friday night, maybe Saturday. I'll try and get one more done this week, but yeah, just been a bit busy recently. So thank you for your patience. Thank you to everybody who showed up tonight. I greatly appreciate it. If you could smash the like on your way out, and yeah, helps me out. So thank you guys very much for the support. Means a lot, man. Really does mean a lot. And Jekyll Davis, he's just dropped a super chat. Haney, Teofimo on the verge of losing. Time will tell. Yeah, I agree. Man, Teofimo, he's got his test on December 14th. That's a hell of a fight. Teofimo Lopez versus Richard Comey. Hell of a fight. I need to make a prediction for that fight. It will be up, I would say, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I would say. So watch out for that as well. But anyway, thank you very much to Jekyll Davis. Thank you very much to the chat. Thoroughly enjoyed it tonight. Peace.